security best practices for administrator accounts. So super admins on your domain have full power and control to go in and delete users. They can see files and see emails and potentially do some very destructive things. So it's a really good idea to closely guard your super admin accounts. And these are just a few of the tips I'd recommend looking at implementing at your own school if you're not already doing these things. So firstly, as I just mentioned, two-step verification. Definitely turn that on for your administrator accounts and use a physical security key like Google's Titan key or a YubiKey, for example. You don't want to share administrator accounts among users, so really important to have named admins. And the reason for that is so that all admin actions are logged in the audit log and you know exactly who made a change when you're tracing back a particular issue. So it's good to know who made what change. It's important to have multiple administrator accounts, so don't just have one in case you get locked out of that. It's a good idea to have a few super admins on a domain, but not too many. I normally recommend about 3 or 4. I think it's about the right number, and make use of those custom admin roles to just give more bespoke privileges when needed. Don't use your super admin account for daily activities, so have a separate staff account for your regular school emails and using other apps, and then have a separate admin account which you use to manage the domain, just to keep those two separate and stop any issues or potential issues there. It's a really good idea to make sure all of the admins get important announcements from Google. So by default, the primary admin will get those service updates and announcements from Google, but others might miss that. So good idea to set up a rule, a Gmail routing rule, and just forward those updates to all the other accounts. And one last thing, it's a good idea to monitor activity on your admin accounts. So I mentioned the super admin role earlier. It's a really powerful role. So I'd recommend using an activity rule and just setting up a rule to monitor that role. So you get an alert if anyone gets added into that role or if any other changes are made, just so you've got visibility and automated alerts there. And you can learn a lot more about that by just clicking on this link.